Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here in the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for May 15th, 2022, with your host, Faceburger2448, and wrap it up, Salon.
Hello.
You know, I forget how much Iba gets to do early on in the show, and then how much
she doesn't do at the end of the show. Yeah.
In the middle to end of the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she stops getting to do stuff like as soon as we get out of this first arc of the show.
As soon as Guy shows up, just go ahead and say it. His fault.
Yeah.
It actually is his fault.
There is a reason the man deserves to go to jail and to be tossed in the toilet. Several reasons. That's just one of them. Yeah, it is the 9 through 12 of 01 this week. Any thoughts or anything before we just roll right into these episodes?
Not really, but I do have one comment to make. That I didn't quite catch until I was watching through the episodes this time around, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Does it not seem to me like Guy might have had a hand in the actor being shot? Like, possibly put gun in hand kind of mentality.
I mean, we saw, and I don't think I brought it up in the recaps last week, but we know Guy did something to Mr. Assassin to make his lights show up as blue instead of red.
Yeah.
And not long after that do we have these episodes where he goes rogue. So
it's one of those that he knows way too much that crap's fixing to hit the fan. And it's like, wow, no one in this show actually points to the fact of he tried to get a guy killed.
I'm sure it's somewhere in the list of crimes that gets brought up later. I will get the list of crimes, damn it.
It's one of those that, as I was watching, I was like, oh. Because I don't think that even while we were watching it live, it was one of those where that clicks at the moment. It's just a case of, oh, well, he's planning on screwing everything over, so yeah, this is more of a, hey, give up now before I screw you.
Yeah.
But now that I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, you had more of a hand in that than you wanted everyone to believe.
It's almost like Guy should have been the final villain of the show.
Yeah.
Because, like, you could still have the Arto versus Hirobi fight to end the show proper. Because, like, think about if we took the show from that fight between Arto and Hirobi versus that last fight. If you took it from that forward with, like, the episodes we missed out on, and you found a way to have Guy be the villain for that last little bit before, like, let's say just the last episode. You have it set up that not only can the arc corrupt Humagears and be the host for them, but you could also show that the arc could corrupt humans, in a sense.
You know, looking at what happened, there's one actual good way they could have done. Let Guy have the pseudo turn that he did before the arc went boom. But let Guy be our fill-in for Arc 1.
Yeah.
Basically make it a case of he became the host for the arc because of the fact of he lost everything. Then, in theory, beat for beat could still play out. The only difference outside of that is the final battle setup. Have Hirobi be the one to triumph over Guy, and then leave it to Aruto to be the only one to actually be able to stop Hirobi.
Yeah.
You would come to the same conclusion then.
Yeah. Like, I've had it in my head that immediately after that episode, you have, like, the remains of the arc driver going to be disposed of by hidden intelligence, so it's in the lab, and Aruto's just kind of, like, lamenting it, but it then falls into an episode where Aruto and Izu have disappeared, and there's evidence that Izu's been destroyed, and that you have Arc 1 going around, and it seems like Arc 1's Aruto, but the whole episode's like, wait, is it him? Because Guy is also not appearing in person in the episode. You just have the Thouser suit showing up. And then by the end of the episode, Aruto shows up at 02 to stop an attack from Arc 1, and it turns out, oh right, Guy is Arc 1, and he's trying to frame Aruto. Because fuck him. And then that leads to the rest of the episodes of, oh, we have to take him down now because he has the power of the arc and it's corrupting him as well. We should probably stop him together.
Fair.
Because I just really like the an idea of an episode of you just have Arc 1 around and it's just like, wait, did Aruto go bad? Did it corrupt him? Is it possessing him? Because he's not answering us, but it's acting like him.
And I mean,
just as
was shown in the proper episodes when we get that far, it wouldn't be a stretch for Guy to be able to imitate him. He does have the footage from all their battle.
Yeah, it would just be a nice little turn from like the proper show, because you would then you still have that almost same fight where Aruto gets revealed, but instead of it reveals Aruto and oh no, our hero has fallen down a dark path, you just have Aruto show up being like, no, this is what happened, and then you just hear Guy laughing in the suit as he's just like, I did that. Too bad none of you can stop me.
I mean, in all seriousness, I can see that working. I can see, like I said, working. But we both know that they had a completely different plan even than that.
Yeah.
Because the way they set Guy's redemption arc, he was never gonna be Arc's host.
Yeah.
He was never gonna be our final villain. I don't think Aruto was either. I think that was a case of we kind of had to do that.
It's probably going to end up being that Zaya president that they introduced last minute.
That's more than likely, because he had very little screen time that could have even been recorded before the break.
Yeah, because I think he's also heavily involved in the president of the Thouser specials.
So that might have been a case of they meant to do that, but kind of don't have enough time to introduce new characters, show he's a villain, destroy said villain, and end the show. So the easier way is to take someone that's already there, that's going to end the show, and turn them temporary villain.
Yeah, especially since we are dead set on the idea of doing the end fight of 01 versus Hirobi, because we want that meta fight of Seiji Takaiwa versus, I forget his name, that does the suit acting for 01.
Well, I mean,
that is...
Even outside of that, I feel like the entire show was building towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like from the beginning of the show on, Aruto versus Hirobi was going to be the final fight.
Yeah.
They came into it knowing that. I think the rest of the circumstances probably is what was nice coincidences.
They're the two characters that will not stop shouting stop shouting their ideals at each other for like these 4 episodes.
And that's why I'm like, I feel like that was always the play. But yeah, the big thing was it was not till we went back through these episodes that I'm like, oh, I did not realize how much Guy has committed crime.
The man has done a lot of crime. Is going to do a lot of crime.
Yeah, but this is before he actually even takes a suit.
And to think currently, I believe definitively yes, because I'm trying to remember Project Thouser timeline. All of these keys he's gathering is for the creation of Thouser. That's what all the key gathering is for.
I kind of felt as much, but at the same time, I highly doubt he had one version and it was perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the type that at least had prototypes along the way. That's why I was like, presumably.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's get into the episodes proper then. So we're gonna kick off this week with episode 9, Entrusted with That Life. So we're back at the hospital that got attacked. That's swarmed with people who are injured. Doctors and nurses are trying to handle everyone they can. Fua is getting rushed in to the hospital with Yaiba fucking losing it because, oh god, no. My poor dumb wolf friend is dying. Please help. Please stop my poor dumb wolf friend from dying. Human Gear Doctor is actually going to be looking after him. They got him going in the surgery because injuries that require immediate surgery of some kind, they don't specify.
He has a major case of serious plot point.
He is dying because of injury in the chest area of some kind. That's it. Also, something is wrong with his leg because he's on a crutch for like the next 2 episodes after this.
Yeah.
Out of suit. In suit, he's not.
Okay. You know, at a glance, that seems like it is odd, but if I'm not mistaken, even later on, I think it's one of the times that Naruto gets hurt kind of bad. Fua actually tells him to transform because the suit will actually take some of the pain away.
Makes sense.
And it's like, okay, good. You at least addressed that. I will give you that.
Mm-hmm. Also, as a note, the doctor here has signs of being hacked by the Giger from earlier, but he is not showing signs of succumbing to the Ark's will because weirdly, this is like the second time we have this idea of, oh, they're hacked, but they're not following the Ark's will because they're fighting it? Which I don't think is the case here because the Giger's not there, so it can't hack him?
I feel like this is one of those weird times where they're wanting to show that a Gear that's undergone singularity can basically make their own decision and bypass the hacking.
Mm-hmm.
But they never really go into saying that either. And it's like, okay, this just kind of feels out of place.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if it's a case of if a Gear has went through singularity long enough, they can fight it. But if they've just reached singularity, it's like this small window where they can be hacked immediately.
That would probably make a better statement.
Yeah.
Because I would have to think, since a human gear that has went through the singularity can basically become their own source of information kind of deal, it would put them on par to Ark and Zaya over time kind of deal.
Yeah.
So maybe there is just that weakness at the beginning, and then it's fine from there.
I'm willing to say yes, because the show doesn't specify, because we're dealing with a really nebulous topic that it's hard to have a line in the sand of, well, this is before, this is after.
Yeah, but it still would have been good for them to have, stated that.
Yeah.
Or even in the... I think it is in the upcoming episodes where they have made comments about how the human gears have been updated to where they can't be hacked, yet they're still getting hacked. It's one of those, how did you update them?
Now they're getting remote hacked?
Yeah.
Back in the episode, we follow up with Arto now. He's tracking down Maxwell Jinrai and be like, stop! I'm gonna stop you from doing this! And then Hirobi and Jin immediately whip his ass, because, nah, we got shit to do, bye. But then we get a news report. The news report just goes like, if you see a human gears with red eyes and red lights on the headphones, they've went bad. You should avoid them. And, Hidden Intelligence's stocks are tanking and all of this, that, and the other. And I'm like, somehow that part of this show is like the most unbelievable part for me. Like, the idea that Hidden Intelligence is in danger because of the bad press of this, I'm like, no, I think we've seen companies pull off worse bullshit than this. Kind of, and they're fine. Somehow that's the most unbelievable part of the show. I don't know.
It feels on point kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, any company, bad press is going to lower stocks.
Right.
We also haven't really seen a company make mass killing machines.
Fair.
And that's essentially what everyone would look at in that aspect.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. The thing that's supposed to help me is going to kill me instead. Yeah, I could see that being a cause for worry.
Yep, especially when I've sunk a few $100s into this. Probably. Because I have to think a human gear is at least 3 digits in price. If not 4.
I think 4.
Yeah. Since, like, most of them seem to be business stuff and all that. Yeah, they're probably at least 4 digits. But yeah, as this report's going on, the vice pres is like, we need to do something. And he's just like, we shut down the hospital human gears to prevent them from being hacked. And Arto's like, I don't know, we should do that, but he's kind of torn, so he doesn't really have an answer. And vice pres pretty much overrides him and tells he's like, shut them all down. And he's just like, all right, fine, Zaya, shut them all down. Because Shesta's not allowed to do that, even though Shesta is a Secretary of Human Gear, just like Izu is. I guess she doesn't have that.
She doesn't have access. Yeah, I'll say it that way. She doesn't have access to Zaya.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. There's actually a different statement to be made there, but yeah, I'll say it that way right now.
So that happens. The doctor that's supposed to do surgery on Fua also shuts down, which freaks out Yaiba, so she's gonna head off to go talk to Aruto about this, which is where we head, because Aruto talks to Izu and later Yaiba about this, and eventually he's just like, I gotta believe in human gears, I gotta believe they're good ones, I have to, we can't shut them down in this situation, we gotta push forward, so turn them back on. And again, like, these all moments I'm just like, right, Yaiba actually gives a shit about Fua. As much as garbage as she has to go through in the next, like, rest of the show, she actually gives a shit about Fua.
And that's actually a constant that stays the entire show, even.
Yeah. I think it gets into later stuff in the show, but I think my problem with Yaiba later on is just it takes a long time for her to get broken away from Guy so that she can do stuff, but once she's broken away from Guy, she doesn't get time to do stuff.
Because at that point, it's too late. We're kind of like Doomsday levels.
Yeah. She kind of gets to do one thing for Metsubo Jinrai, and then she just kind of tags along to do writer stuff for the rest of the show.
Oh, she really doing it for them?
I mean, they asked her to, and she said sure.
She said sure, though, to also, you know, help Fua, so...
Right. Right.
That's one of those, it's like, did she really do it for them?
Yeah. I feel like she just lacks agency and just getting to go, oh, I'm just gonna go do a thing. Like, what I want, because in the episodes later, Fua was just like, fight for what you believe in, and we don't really get that with Yaiba for what she fights for at all. Because we don't get any backstory stuff for her. And that's also not the case with V-Cinema, because it's not her backstory! We get told about a traumatic thing that does not happen to her, it happens to someone else she knows and was then told to her. It's not even her traumatic backstory. It's someone else's traumatic backstory. Because Yaiba is not allowed to have anything of value. Anyway. We're going to be ranting about those V-Cinemas, I feel like. At least I will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, human gears get turned back on. Aruto goes off to try to defend them as best he can. Doc goes back to working on Fua. Yaiba passes the Mammoth Setsumarais key that she got to Izu, so it could be turned into a Progrise key. So she's working on that. Well, Seiya's working on that. Izu's just waiting around so she can go deliver it. You think they would come up with a better delivery system than just hand it to Izu and she just goes and does her best Flash impression to get it there on time?
I mean, why do you need anything quicker?
Life-threatening situation?
Yeah, but she always manages to slide in at the last second.
True.
As we see later in this batch.
Mm-hmm.
I said that on purpose.
Yeah. So we catch up with Aruto. He's fighting off Metsubo Jinrai and stuff. He's pretty much doing it solo because Yaiba's still down an arm and not here. Fua's in the hospital, and we've got no one else to rely on because the rest of Ames is kind of useless. Doctors works on Fua and stuff. The Giger gets sicked on Fua, or not Fua, on Aruto. That's when Izu arrives with the new key. Gets the power slide in and to explain another joke of Aruto's because that is their relationship. So Aruto gets his big giant mech form, fights the Giger, blows it up. Fua gets saved, but footage of Mr. Assassin transforming with the blue lights on his headset and blue eyes gets leaked to the press, so everyone's flipping out about that. And as Yaiba drops by the office to be like, oh, hey guys, so thanks for saving Fua, he's just like, the fuck? Why'd you do it? And Yaiba's like, I did nothing, goodbye. Even though she's clearly on camera filming this footage. in plain view of Izu, even. Because it's Izu's footage that's just like, oh, hi, Yaiba, who's looking directly at me in this footage. So she denies it, leaves. Aruto does check in with Fua, and they get to have a little moment. This Fua's like, Himagiri saved me, but I'm still mad about it. This only changes things slightly. But that takes us to episode 10. I am the actor Shinya Awada. So Aruto and the Vice Prez, they're doing a production with a Himagiri actor and a human actor that is like a long-standing action actor and stuff, to get some good press for Hidden Intelligence. Meanwhile, Guy continues his scheming and stuff, using Yaiba to get the Zetsmoke Rise keys for him so he can make Thouser. Meanwhile, Mr. Assassin is watching an old movie of this human actor, so he could be a better assassin, because that makes sense, I guess. But that takes us to the shoot for this movie. Aruto and the Vice Prez are on set as extras. Ames is also there for security with Fua. That's when Mitsuo Jinrai attacks, specifically Jin and Mr. Assassin. Jin ends up doing the fight solo as Izu tries to inform Aruto, like, you should get off set and go help. But the director doesn't allow it because no one can see them fighting and or hear them fighting on the other side of this of the wall of this fucking warehouse. Somehow. This must be the quietest fight in existence.
I mean, probably.
So, set shenanigans as the two of them fight. Yaiba ends up dropping by as well, fighting off Jin. Mr. Assassin just fucked off in the middle of it before this scuffle even began. Fua does try to question Yaiba about the video because Izu showed him the footage. And Yaiba's like, I'm not talking to you about the spy. Just walks away.
I love how that's the answer for... You know?
I don't want to talk about it. Look, I know I fucked up, but I'm leaving. Goodbye.
I did the thing because I was told to.
Stop making me feel guilty. Stop it. I hate feeling this feeling. But since
easy for you to say.
The film didn't go well. Filming of the scene didn't go well. The actor's like, I don't really feel this Himagiri. He doesn't quite get it. And he kind of just leaves and ends up running into this guy's Mr. Assassin. They do a bit of a scene and stuff, and he even responds to some improv. Well, and he's just like, you're better than that Himagiri guy. And it's like, well, he's technically reached singularity, I think. I think Mr. Assassin's reached singularity at this point.
I don't know, actually. It feels like maybe, but I don't know.
But next day, the guy tries to do the same improv stuff with the Himagiri actor, and it fails miserably. So he's like, I'm done with this. Goodbye. He leaves. And that's when Mr. Assassin shows up and just tosses the Himagiri aside and just starts attacking people because he doesn't like this guy acting opposites of the human person he kind of likes-ish. So Yaiba has to step in, tries to fight. Jin steps in as well, so it's 2v1. So Aruto shows up. Yaiba gets knocked back out of her transformation. So Fua shows up and is just like, look, I don't know what's going on, but as long as you're fighting for what you believe in, that's enough. Because I'm fighting for what I believe in, and I'm gonna go punch him. So she tosses him the Hedgehog Key, which is the only time the Hedgehog Key ever gets used is for this one finisher.
Yep.
These extra keys that are technically apparently Zaya keys, at least according to the writer wiki, get like used once for a finisher, and that's kind of it. which I will also point out that the number of Zaya-specific keys that are essentially all these Raider keys we'll get later is almost the exact same number of keys for Rampage Vulcan, which is why we should have gotten a Rampage version of that for Yaiba, so they would have matching forms. Because they have almost all matching forms between the two of them. And that's the one that breaks it. And I hate it. But Fua takes out Mr. Assassin again. Arto forces Jin to retreat with the key. We kind of end the episode with Yaiba telling Fua's like, look, I'm going to have to betray you one day, most likely. And Fua's like, cool. I'll still kick your ass. I love how Fua just accepts it. It's just like, that's a challenge. I will win that. You're not going to beat me. And it's nothing personal. But that's episode 10. So, how'd you feel about the first pair?
I kind of am not gonna lie, I forgot that a lot of this happened this early.
Same.
Otherwise, I mean, good first half.
Yeah. Good 0-1 stuff, as always. So, we shall pick up with episode 11, Don't Stop the Camera, Stop Him! So, guys, continuing the plot as usual, as we see that Jin is jealous of Mr. Assassin's development and stuff, even though he keeps getting reset. Because they keep backing him up before he goes out and fights. Which is probably the smartest decision they've done with him.
Yeah.
Alright, before you go fight, we're going to back you up real quick, because if you get blown up, we can just pick you up wherever we left off from that fight. It's fine. But Mr. Assassin is now set after the human actor. This is where Arto goes and talks to said actor, and it's just like, hey, what's the problem? We find out he's just like, I'm not really feeling the dialogue between me and him. Naruto's like, well, if you try, working with him and teaching him, it will work. If not, of course it won't work. And Even's like, yeah, Human Gear saved me once, and that's why I try to fight for him. So, it gets through to him, so he's back on board. But the Human Gear gets hacked, so he's forced to fight. Yaiba ends up fighting it. Arto tries to step in, but then Hirobi shows up, so the two of them fight while Yaiba takes out the Human Gear and takes the key. And Hirobi just leaves. She dumps the key off the guy for Bowser stuff. Check in with Arto later. He's ready to quit the production because, well, the Human Gear's down. Actor probably isn't on board at this point, so fucking we've got nothing. But the actor's like, nah, it's fine. We'll teach. We'll get this right. So they try again, try to do another shoot later, but Arto gets called away by Yaiba to Zaya. So we get to see Zaya headquarters, and we find out that Yaiba technically works for Zaya. She's just on loan to Ames. So this is when Arto and Guy meet for the first time, and Guy pretty much is just like, sell Helen intelligence to me before things get worse. Things are going to get worse. It's best you sell it to me now. Because as we get back to the set, we see that Mr. Assassin shoots the actor. Doesn't shoot him dead. It's only attempted murder because he missed vital organs, I guess.
Apparently, even though that doesn't look like it happened, but
he shot him directly in the chest.
Yeah.
And he was on the ground, not bleeding out for a while.
Yeah.
But But yeah, Arto gets back to set, finds out that Mr. Assassin did this, and showed himself as a human gear. So, oh no, the terribleness. Fu ends up cutting off Mr. Assassin, and now we get to see his second form, his evolved form, because he's evolving. And I forgot that we didn't get the second form for super long, because it's literally this fight, and then he's in his last form the very next time we see him next episode. I guess that's why Soto didn't prioritize it in getting us the figures for Mr. Assassin, because it's like, yeah, we could have, but the third form is the more important form.
I mean, yeah.
So, two of them are fighting. Fu's going to lose this fight bad. Also, this fight is the one that shows us... Wait, no, it was the fight last time that showed us that the Zetsuma Riser has a finisher, and he's the only one that ever gets to use it, which is so strange that there is a finisher button on that driver, and he's the only one that ever uses it, like, once.
Yeah.
Makes me sad he never comes back in the show. But yeah, Fua loses that fight. Arto ends up having to fight Hirobi and gets nowhere fast, to the point that he tries to rider kick him with Breaking Mammoth, and it doesn't even phase Hirobi. He just blocks it with his big ass mechanical scorpion. Is just like, you tried, it didn't work. I'm gonna leave now. I did what I needed to do. Goodbye. So, because of the attempted murder and stuff, Hidden Intelligence is now under investigation, and the cops swarm the headquarters for evidence and stuff. Which takes us to our last episode, episode 12. The Great Detective has arrived. So, we find out that the lab, or Zaya, is kind of working on a key at the moment, so the lab can't be disturbed. But the police have found out about the lab next to the office because Yaiba told them. Because Yaiba, why? You're not helping.
Yeah, but she's not trying to help.
I know.
Hidden. Trying to help Saya.
Yeah. Just trying to help Guy because...
Well, I mean, Guy does need all the help in the world.
Yeah. Because that's the other thing I don't think they ever really got into is, why does she help Guy so much? Reluctantly. They never really get into that.
They kind of do. And it more is because of the fact of, you know, Guy can turn the dog whistle on in their head.
Right. But like,
so
she only...
I kind of feel like it's that.
Right, but she only got that when she transformed for the first time, right?
Maybe he wasn't as bad then.
Fair.
I'm not gonna say he wasn't bad. Maybe he wasn't as bad.
I always felt like Guy had something very personal on her, which is why she worked for him for so long.
I don't. I feel like it was it happened over time concept.
Yeah. So there were one of those times where I'm like, I wish Yaiba had more character stuff in this show, because she could really use it at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, the police are on the way for the lab. They should not be allowed in the lab because that key needs to be finished, because it's the only way we're going to deal with Mr. Assassin at the moment. So as the police get there, Arto's just like, you can't go in the lab because I accidentally locked it with a joke, and I don't remember which joke it was. Give me like 6 hours to figure it out. Meanwhile, we find out that Mr. Assassin has gone rogue. He's broken off from Metsubo Jinrai and is going to do his own thing. And Metsubo Jinrai are like, sir, that is not the plan. Get over here. So they're having to fight him and his own special goons. He gets his own goons in the form of like black colored dodo magias, which again is just like so much work got put into Mr. Assassin, and
For
he's
him to
only
not
here
show up anymore.
for him to only be around for one more episode for us, and then he's done for the rest of the season. Sometimes I wish he was actually Ikazuchi, because it makes more sense.
Kinda does.
Like, I kind of wish Ikazuchi just used a different key and was not associated with Mr. Assassin in any capacity. Or just, they brought back Mr. Assassin and he wasn't, all rogue and that stuff. Especially considering Ikazuchi lasted for exactly, 2 episodes as a bad guy and then got blown up immediately. And didn't appear again until the end of the fucking show. Like... But that's when a Human Gear detective shows up. That gets their attention, and he's like, Arto, I have a plan. And then he tells them on the phone, but you have to follow the plan. And the plan is for Arto to draw the attention of police as 01, so they will be busy with him as the key gets made. So he does that initially. That ends up leading to him fighting Fua for a bit, and he just ghosts him eventually. And once he gets back to the lab with the secret elevator, we find out that this Human Gear is Wazzle. And he was the granddad's secretary before Izu, which technically means he's Izu's sister. Which I do like the...
You mean brother.
Right, brother. Other way. He's Izu's brother.
I mean, if he's Izu's sister, then we've got a lot more questions.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Which I love Izu's shock reaction as he processes and goes, "That is horseshit. That is not how that works." And he's like, "No, I'm the prototype that you were made from. So that technically means we're siblings." She's like, "Sure, you weird person, you." But yeah, he's here to help out Arto because, he owed his granddad, so of course I'm here to help. Plan is still the same, run away from the police. So he runs off, leads the police away. Yaiba ends up tracking him down. They barely have a fight, as Arto's just like, "You did this on purpose. I don't know why, but you did it on purpose, and you probably feel bad about that." And she's like, "Stop making me feel emotions, damn it! Stop it!"
Stop making me feel.
So he goes her too. That's when we see the detective go about to these different festival areas and stuff, and looks like he's goofing off and stuff, and Izu just calls it Arto, being like, "This guy is a fucking hack, we're fucked." But as it turns out, he's essentially Columbo. Because at some random warehouse place, Izu's just like, "We are getting nowhere. Stop being a goofball." And he's like, "I'm not being a goofball. I've noticed that Fua's been following us for the last half hour. Hi, Fua. Also, I've led us to a Human Gear theft ring that is in this area, and it's because I sounded the siren. I needed someone to stop them. And, oh, look, the Wolf Boy is here to punch the van to make it stop."
Because that seems to be the only thing he does good.
Right. With the form that is not the punching one.
Yeah.
And since we stopped the theft ring, I can access.
Okay. Just because he has the Kong key, I mean that he's gonna use it.
Right, but I think it would be funnier if he punched it with the big giant Kong glove.
He has the brain of a gorilla. can't expect him to always use it.
Yeah. But since they've stopped this theft ring, they find out, they've stolen human gears and made 5 of them look like the same person and sold them to the festival. And oh, look, it's the guy that Mr. Assassin is. And we've blown up 3 of them. And the 4th one is currently active, and the 5th one hasn't been kidnapped yet. We need to grab him before things go bad. And that's when they realize, he's Columbo. That makes sense. All of the goofball stuff is meant to lower your guard down so he can then put you in the toilet. So they track it down, they try to grab him, but he runs off, runs into Mr. Assassin, who's like, "Hi, bro, you want to come conquer the world with me?" And he's like, no? But that leads to Naruto and Fua fighting him. They don't do much, even though they do a combo attack. It doesn't work. So he just kind of blows them both off and takes off. Or he blows both of them off. Fua ends up getting knocked down. Naruto's kind of reeling. Thankfully, the keys gets done, and Izu runs off, runs back with it. Power slides it to Naruto, who's ready to use it. But the Breaking Mammoth key got knocked out of his hand earlier in the fight, and Waz was like, "No, use this key!" And he's like, "But new key!" So he uses the new key, and we get the debut of Shining Hopper. But no fight, because it's the end of the episode. Oh.
Cliffhanger.
We have to wait a whole week for, honestly, outside of 02, my favorite main 01 form, if I'm being honest. I don't know why, but I just like Shining Hopper above, honestly, all of the others.
I don't know. Outside of 02, I think I like Shining Assault better.
Yeah.
Shining's alright, but in my opinion, it really just looks like a beefier 01 suit kind of deal. And that don't really, to me, add anything. And I think that's why I like Shining Assault better.
I think it's just, I like the simplicity of Shining. Shining Assault adds in too much bulk and stuff for me, I guess. But I still like it. Honestly, I think all of the stuff, including the Shining System stuff, is why I'm like, no, I'm fine with Shining Assault. Because it gets to do more stuff.
I kind of see your idea, your concept on the adding more bulk. But at the same time, I almost wonder if it's the blue tints that actually make it look more bulkier than anything.
Oh, I think it's more just the chest and stuff, because it has all that extra, like the big light and stuff, and like all the extra stuff on the chest is what makes it look bulkier. Because there's not a whole lot added to the chest of Shining. It's Shining Assault that adds all the extra bits and stuff on it. That definitely makes it look like it's bulkier, but it's probably not. It's probably the same size.
I feel like it probably is close to the same size. I think the coloring is what really kind of screws with you. Because it does look bulkier, I'll give you that. But at the same time, I almost don't think it is.
Yeah, I
love the fact that we really only focused on the 2 Shining forms, and neither one of us made a comment about Metal Cluster.
I mean, Metal Cluster is fine. It's just big silver in with the little bit of highlights of yellow and stuff. I think the problem is that, and this is, I think, is a problem with a lot of like the pre-final forms. We see them too much because they're the forms that kind of get stuck with us for like the middle portion of the show. So they get used week in, week out so often. Like, how often do you think we're going to have an episode where Naruto just uses Metal Hopper? Even after they fix it.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. I think it's the problem, like a similar problem I have with like Revice at the moment, because how often are we seeing Kamen Rider Revice over everything else, it feels like.
I mean, yeah, we're not even... I think, what, last week we got some more mixes, but that was it.
Yeah.
We went from base form with side changes to current form.
Yeah.
We had nothing in between, and it's like, we did other stuff, we know that, right?
Yeah, and since I watched Beyond Generations, I got reminded that, oh right, Baron Rex exists, and Baron Rex is probably my favorite Revy form. And we have seen hide nor hair of it since who knows how long.
Uh-huh.
I think since Volcano got introduced, practically.
You know, and that's actually kind of a complaint that I've got with 01 too. After the second assault group gets made,
yeah,
we barely see Shining.
I can distinctly remember one episode late into the show where it randomly showed up for one specific fight and then it was gone.
Uh-huh.
Again.
And what's bad is that's not that many episodes between Shining's debut and Shining Assault.
Yeah. And I am still mad because of how they shot it, that it was Shining Assault's debut. Because it made too much sense for it to be regular Shining because of what Shining says. God damn it. We'll get there.
But yeah.
Oh, like I had something else to mention. I can't think of anything.
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't have anything else either. So, yeah, that'll do it for the week, folks. This next week, let me pull up the schedule. Wednesday is a co-op thing. Of some kind. Possibly Friday.
Yeah, possibly Friday.
You'll find out tomorrow whenever I post the schedule on Twitter. And remember this time to actually put in the twitch.tv link with the image for the schedule, because it probably would be a good thing to include that in there.
Maybe.
Look, I'm learning. I'm trying. Thursday, Rider Chronicle with the Kamen Rider V3 and the Kamen Rider game for PS1. Saturday will be TGS. We get to talk about the Halo show in full, because the final episode would have aired by then. Yay!
Still haven't watched Stray Song.
I'm still laughing about that.
I found that I really don't. And I just watch it whenever I actually feel like it, kind of deal now.
Fair. That's probably a good way. Good thing.
I started to watch it today before the show, and then I'm like, nah.
But yeah, we'll also get to talk about Gotham Knights, because they showed off some new gameplay stuff for it. Which, weirdly enough, one thing I was listening to said it was the first look we've had at Gotham Knights footage, and I'm like, no, this is the second look we've had at the Gotham Knights footage, and no, I've got some concerns about it. Weirdly, one of them is performance. Because like it is noted, if you've listened to us long enough, that I am blind to 60-30 frame rate differences.
Same.
And I could tell there was a big performance drop when some particle effects happened in this game. Like, oh boy, that concerns me. You should probably polish that up, please. Yeah, we'll get to talk about that along with some other stuff. And then next Sunday, we continue 0-1 with episodes 13 through 16. But if you like what you're seeing, folks, you can drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chip it away at that affiliate goal. At Teach Soon on Twitter. Gets you updates from real life. Next page point, Discord chat. It's this or link. Drop by. Say hi. See you Wednesday or Thursday, folks.